Oh my goodness. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven is part of the Lord's Prayer. And when I was a boy, they had opening exercises at school. I think we started school at 9 in the morning. But opening exercises where they'd play O Canada, and then we'd say the Lord's Prayer. This was the public school in Ontario, Canada. It wasn't the religious school. Did all the kids say it? I can't remember. Did I say it? I don't know. I did say it quite a bit, I would say. Did I say it every time? It's being blocked. I can't remember. Anyways, but it was being a regular thing. I'm gonna have to wait for it because I'm being under demonic attack by Brent Beeson, whoever this fucking person is. That happens all the time. Because he comes around, he wants to just tell you again and again and again, the Lord's will is not being done here on earth. Because the Lord's Prayer, when people say the Lord's Prayer, is, Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, which implies that God's will is being done in heaven and not here. And then David R. Hawkins of Consciousness Research told us that earth is actually a purgatorial realm. The purgatory. We did this video, I don't know how many months ago. We did, but it's time to refresh your memory about the purgatory because it's a fantastic story about ancient Rome when the gluttons of ancient Rome ruled the world. They were famous for eating. They loved to eat huge banquets, overflowing with every kind of food imaginable, and they owned the whole known world. So they could bring in ships of Chinese salt, special whatever that Himalayan salt that we get for $2 at the dollar store. Well, in those ancient days, to get Himalayan salt to Rome, like the Marco Polo caravan, and the salt would have to be carried by camels or something all the way. That's an unbelievable journey. Now that Himalayan salt in those days had to pay for the costs, the unbelievably huge transportation costs. The most expensive items in the olden days were things like that. Modern days, everything should be free. Because the Federal Reserve is allowed to print up as much money as it wants and give it out to the people that own the banks. You can buy stock in banks, and banks are allowed to print money. But you yourself are not allowed to print money. Why is it that a corporation owned by people is allowed to print money, but those people are not allowed to print money on their own? It makes corporations more powerful than humans in law. Anyway, that's another story because it's totally wrong. Anyways, we're getting rid of everything to do with money and trying to figure out how it's fair and fair. Because in 5D Earth, you manifest your reality. And, unless you're manifesting a reality where you're wanting to use money, you shouldn't need money. You shouldn't. In other words, you want an apple, and then next thing you know, it could be like the Wicked Witch of the West. What was her name? Mrs. Gulch. She's one of our favorite characters from The Wizard of Oz because she stole Toto from Dorothy. Because Toto was telling everybody that, I don't care if you got a stupid fence there. Toto started singing that. He was the little white dog. He was singing that song. When was that song from? Good God. Beeson, let me know what the fuck, because he's holding this back. This is demonic attack. I can't even tell you a story without these fucking people, electronic thing. Do you know how many fucking videos I've made? Zillions of these things, because this is all I can do all day. Talk and then have these devils attack me. It was a song about a fence. It wasn't Alvin Lee. Alvin Lee did a song called I'd Love to Change the World, but I don't know what to do, so I leave it up to you. There's a song around that time period. Sign, sign, everywhere a sign, rocking up the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign? So, Little Toto is going to be played. Sippy Cup, the little white dog, wants to play Toto. You know, he's going to do a spin-off or something. So Toto is running through Mrs. Gulch's fenced yard, and he's singing that song as loud as he can, because he's looking at Mrs. Gulch's fence and saying, the fuck I'm going to approve of you putting up fences on my planet. Because I'm a little white dog and I like to run, and I don't want to be fenced in and told this is a dog run. I want to be able to run from Edmonton, Alberta to the bottom part of South America. I want to run and run and run and run and run and run and run, and I don't want any fences in my way, and I don't want any wicked witches telling me that they own this land and they fenced it and it's theirs, and they're going to send a horrible police officer with a gun to come and start shooting at me for, running around on God's land. It's not your human land, because the little white dogs are pissed off at humans beyond belief. They say, who gives your species the right to go and say it's all yours? And who gets to come in and off that land? And then next song that he sings is, to all the humans that do this, you're so vain. You probably think this land is about you. You're so vain. And then a bunch of seagulls come in. I don't know, 200 seagulls fly over. And they shit on all the humans that are watching. And then a bunch of bears come out of the woods. And they growl. And the humans go... And they get ready for the cars, and they roll up their windows, they turn on their cars, and they just fuck off as fast as they can. And all the animals go, yay, fuck off, humans. So, that's the way that other beings on planet Earth look at a lot of 1% horrible white people called the 1%. I don't know why they say white. I don't know, because I don't know. I guess because I'm white. I'm not rich, and I'm not a 1%, or I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of rich people of other racial groups. Why are we talking about this? Because Brett Beeson the Devil is here, and he's a racist homophobe, but he's very good at finding out racism and homophobia in other people. Because you got to know yourself in order to know other people, and he knows other people, and he's still trying to figure it out himself, or something like that. But we want to keep it top of mind, because everybody's got to polish their glass every day. Because we still live in a very dirty world full of very dirty people, and those are people on the low end of the scale of human consciousness. So we need to spend a lot of time with people of high consciousness, because the 5 people that you hang out with the most drag you either up or drag you down. And the Buddhists know this, and they have meditation groups. Maybe, I don't know if the Buddhists pray. Maybe certain forms. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert at all in Buddhism. We're trying to figure out what the Buddhists would say. What would the Buddhists say? Okay, well, the Buddhist things, this I'm just going to give you, I know there's other, I can go on talking about a lot of other topics, and I gave you a taste of honey. If you really want me to continue on whatever I was talking earlier, then you're going to have to put a comment down below, because otherwise I'll have to move on to the next thing. So what are the things that you really need to know about Buddhist teachings? Where did I get this from? Book learning. Because I'm not affiliated with any religion, but I like to study them all because I'm very, very interested in that kind of stuff. I'm interested in all kinds of stuff. I'm interested in learning how jets work, not jet fighters and things. I'm very interested in high technology stuff. I always was. exciting and new. Love, exciting and new. Come aboard, we're expecting you. The love boat, soon we'll be making another run. The love boat promises something for everyone. Take a course of adventure, your mind on a new romance. And love won't hurt anymore. It's an open sky, and I got two friendly oars. It's love. Welcome aboard. It's love. Now, Lewis Carroll was rowing the rowboat at the end of the song. It just popped into my mind at that time. Famous author, did he do Through the Looking Glass? Through the Looking Glass. A looking glass, I think it's an olden days term for a mirror. So, I guess Alice in Wonderland was that the same? Yeah, I think it was. So here we're going to go and look through the looking glass. Okay, that's a looking glass. I don't know, it's just a big wall. I'm going to get some distance here so you can see. Okay, that's a nice mirror. So now you're looking through, what do we call it, looking glass. And the most interesting thing to do is look at the phone camera as it comes closer and closer to the mirror, because you start to see strange visual effects going on. Multiple images of the phone. What else do you see? Through the looking glass. I don't know, then you got to use your imagination or whatever, put yourself in the mirror. But remember, don't ever look in the mirror, because this is the famous story. I'm not sure which one of the movies it was, but one of the Harry Potter movies. It was all about mirrors, and Harry Potter was the one that was told, don't look in mirrors, which brings up why. And that was another fairy tale. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the weirdest one of all? And then she got all pissed off because it was like she thought she was the weirdest of the weird. And she was. The mirror always said every day, because she checked in with the mirror every day. It was like a tarot card addiction. Well, I watched a lot of tarot cards. I'm addicted to it. Yeah. Because if you want to know the real news, that's the best place to go. Because everything's fake news, and it's all spin diseased or whatever they got, spin cityed. But if you listen to tarot card readers and they'll tell you what the cards are, well, they're going to give you their interpretation. But if you know tarot cards your own way, then you get somebody else drawing the cards. Horrible energies in here. Horrible energy, because that happens to the tarot card readers quite a bit. People that are low vibe tribe people. People on the low end of the scale of human consciousness have horrible energies because it's just evil at the bottom. At the very bottom, towards the bottom, on the human scale, the equivalent would be, I don't know, venom of a snake or a scorpion. Okay, Buddhist teachings that you need to remember. Right living. How do you make your living? That's what they're talking about. Is the way you make your living harmful to other beings, neutral to other beings, or benevolent to other beings? And that is what I want you all to ask yourself about the jobs that you are doing. I mean, if you're Vance Cinderly and you're fracking the earth, I'm going to tell you you're damaging the earth and you should do something else. Even if they're going to keep fracking, If you quit and they can't get anybody else to frack, then the fracking starts going down. And if it keeps going, well, at least you're not part of it. And you can do something positive for the planet rather than participating in the negativity. And in the end, you already did it. Do something different in order to balance out the horrible personal karma you have from making money by, exploding underground Mother Earth. Well, it's just that, I'm attacked all the time, and somebody else might think that I'm a can of tuna. I'm totally, there's 8 billion of us, and I don't matter. His name is Brent Beeson. He won't use his real name, but Wayne Kealoe Powell comes through, torture me. And that's his real name. He's supposed to be a spiritual teacher, doctorate of divinity. And he can teach you how to give an amazing lummy massage. Amazing, amazing, amazing. But the cost is not worth it. It's not worth it to get a lummy from a kahuna ana. That's a greedy American gluttonous capitalist. Somebody who charges for spiritual services, and everything you do is a spiritual service because you're a spirit having a human experience. And then Rock Beast and the Devil is still trying to choke me to death. Okay, so right living is important. Brent Beeson's living is a professional devil. He always says he works for Scott Dougal from Google. Scott Dougal from Thunder Bay, PACI. Yep, the one that I know. These devils always say that Scott Dougal won't comment one way or another. Doesn't that sound like he's guilty to you? Theoretically, and more likely than not, Scott Dougal is under the same remote neural monitoring as me and everybody else on the planet. Because we all get that earbug. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's never said he got the earbug. Maybe he is not being vetted. But if he is it possible that the reason he can't tell me whether he's involved or not is that the remote neural monitoring is blocking him from speaking his truth? The answer is absolutely yes, because quite often I have horrible, horrible attacks of this, and I have multiple people talking out of my mouth last night because they set up multiple operators of the electronic harassment. Multiple people's voices are beamed right through, and right through here. Have you watched the video about remote neural monitoring? The torture device, Dr. Evil? Well, I'll put it down here, and you can watch that video. And then, because that video explains somebody else's explanation, which is, I'm totally aligned with what they tell you about this horrible, horrible technology. But if Scott Dougal is on this thing, and somebody else, because the first year that they put this on me, full blast with Rumpelstiltskin, I couldn't tell people. I couldn't ask for help. They completely can fuck with what you want to say. And in the end, Bob hasn't said anything in 6 years. Because 6 years ago, when Rumpelstiltskin's electronic attack started, it was complete electronic hijacking. And to this day, the original occupant, Bob, in this body, does not talk. Now, is it because he's become a silent witness, like, the spiritual teaching says? Well, yes. It's just that me, as a replacement voice for Bob, it could very well be an electronic hijacking, me being a Borg. Because, from Bob's perspective, he has been under this electronic assault for 6 years, and his voice was taken away. And the cover story is the Freemason idea that, well, because they always blame the Freemason for being evil, that the Freemason wants to give you fake information about fake spiritual advancements. This is not my words, it's channeled in from Brent Beeson the Devil. And that information comes to everybody via all of the rest of the people on the planet. And this is how we don't get anybody available for anybody in particular. So we have random events seem to happen, but in the end, everything seems to be guided by the Adjustment Bureau, like the Matt Damon movie. And why do we have an Adjustment Bureau rather than letting things develop organic? We inherited it from when we used to be a hell world, which according to Dr. David R. Hawkins, the Freemason, the one that, like I said, consciousness research. But in the end, if you're going to go and look at him with a critical eye, well, there's a lot of holes in Dr. Hawkins' story that weren't available 25 years ago. He got an endorsement from Mother Teresa, and in those days she was considered a saint. Modern day, she's considered a non-existent person. Phony, baloney, fake news. Because if you look at a picture of Mother Teresa, and then you compare it with a picture of Anthony Fauci. What was the organization he was with? Wasn't World Health Organization. Is it the U.S., the big national health database of helping out doctors, whatever you call it. Anthony Fauci's face is identical to the face presented to us as being Mother Teresa. So, both of them have to be considered phony baloney. Because fake news goes way back to when I was a boy, Walter Cronkite. He kept saying, they kept saying it, the most trusted person in America is the tagline, and I'm 6 years old and I'm starting to watch TV, and you just get hearing about that, and then I guess they think they're building trust in this guy, and next thing you know, they're telling you they're landing spaceships on the moon, and then, I don't know, some years later, they got a movie that me as a kid went to see called Capricorn 1. And in Capricorn 1, that starred Elliot Gould and O.J. Simpson, later on of the enormous O.J. Simpson. I mean, that guy loves huge publicity. So was it real? The Ron Goldman murder? No, I'm going to say it was all fake. Because everything's fake on TV, but in those days they said it was real. And the O.J. Simpson chase scene, well, clearly that was fake news, manufactured news. And you all love the drama of it all. But, it's not fake. It's real. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we have to move on back to the tarot card readers. Because you're getting tarot cards flipped. And that's how I get the news. The devils insist upon it. They do. Because sometimes there's no other way to get news than you go and look. So sometimes to get news, what you do is you go for a walk. And you pay attention to everything, especially signs. So, if you're walking this way and somebody's coming towards you, and they're wearing a blue hat, well, you notice that. And if they're wearing a t-shirt that's got a peace sign on it, and it says Brazil, well, then you know that's the peace sign from the 1960s, the hippies, and is it Portuguese? I don't speak Portuguese, but I should. I don't know. Okay, so anyways, if somebody comes near you, and they've got these messages, because, this hat has also got the, the no logo or whatever. I don't know, because these are all kinds of messages, and you don't often... Sometimes on the fly when you're walking, you'll get a message, you'll get it right away. But quite often, things you see, you might not even know that they're relevant. Or you might think this is relevant, but you don't know what it is. So later on when you go home, something might flash to you. Oh, what I saw earlier today when my walk is related to something that I just heard on the radio. Or I walked through a coffee shop, and the thing that I saw earlier when I'm walking by, and somebody in line at the coffee shop started talking about the same thing. And this is but you might think, well, it's just a brand new thing, everybody sees it. But you're going to say, this doesn't make sense. Because you're going to say, but there'll be some reason that makes you go, but this is impossible. Because they're talking about this thing. Maybe you're off in Madagascar on a long distance journey, and you've been away from Canada for 2 weeks, and you're at a cafe in Madagascar. I think that's part of Africa. It's the island off the coast of Africa on the east side. Big one. So you're there. I mean, wouldn't you like to go to Madagascar? Yeah. How much money does it cost me to go to Madagascar? Everybody's going to say it's going to cost you a bloody fortune. Why were we talking about Madagascar? Huh? Okay, so you did go to Madagascar because it was super expensive. And you got there. You sat down for coffee. And I don't know, something bizarre would have to happen to make you go, this is impossible. It would be like nobody you know, but somebody you recognize as a regular person in your life. So when you went out for a walk every day, there's a certain guy that was walking his dog all the time. And every time his dog went for a shit, this guy would not scoop and poop, pick up the poop in a plastic bag and haul it away. So let's say, that guy was living in Thunder Bay, Canada, and I saw that guy in Malagasy Republic, Madagascar's other name. I was away from Thunder Bay for 2 weeks, and then here comes the guy with a dog, and the dog takes a shit. The guy looks at it and keeps on walking, and he walks away. And I don't see him again until, 2 months later running back in Thunder Bay. I'm going to say it's impossible because I don't ever talk to that guy. It's impossible for that guy to know that I was going to Malagasy Republic, Madagascar. Did he read my mind? And then why would he want to go? Well, I don't know. But something like that, these cuckoo things happen. They do happen. And they happen quite regularly. And Brent Beeson says, it's a mixed up world, it's a crazy word. What else do you want to talk about? Put me some comments down below, things you'd like to talk about. We'll give you some sample things you might pick from. So what I want you to do is go for a walk, or go for a car drive, or you could even do it with the TV. Just flip through the TV, go through 100 channels on the TV. I don't know, as fast as you want to go. And then maybe you get some ideas about what you would like me to sing about or talk about. And you can put a comment down below.